I'm hitting on some key points of, control and calmness in leadership, of confidence, as well as, the injection of some personalized messaging, even if it happens to be impassioned or have, even a tinge of anger or frightening aspect of it. It makes a leader seem more human and relatable. Now, how is this similar or different to how you would coach someone, pre today versus how you would advise someone, if you had a meeting with them later this afternoon?
So it doesn't really, I mean, COVID, the situation going on, doesn't change the fundamentals of, how you step up as a leader in a crisis. I think that there is strong research and evidence that we can look out there of what resonates with people, what moves people, and you need to be looking at that. You, as a coach who's worked with a very diverse set of leaders, men, women, different ethnic backgrounds, different countries, different industries. The situations we face and we as people are more similar than we are different. That may come as counterintuitive from a guy who's lived around the world, and we like to point out differences. But people want to be connected to. We do, for better or for worse, look to people who seem to have strength and can show that. So as a coach, I see a lot of those patterns. I draw from the research, and I would say that those are very applicable to all the situations that you find yourself in. And I would say, a lot of people will also look to coaches to say that they draw from their personal experiences. I have had plenty, particularly in my line and general management roles. I worked in healthcare where mistakes cost lives, and in different countries where the rules may be somewhat different. But I think, again, we're more similar than we're different. You can extend a lot of those learnings, but I'm cautious too not to extend my personal experience directly on clients or other people. There's variables at play. Every situation is different. And, the national tragedy going on right now, it's, you'd have to be measured in what you're saying, because there's been 80 years of the stuff going on, and, shooting off at the mouth and invalidating how someone is feeling is not the right position to be in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there is, we always talk about authentic leadership, right? So how do you, as a leader, be transparent, authentic, humble at the same time, and balance that, especially when you're dealing, with not only a diverse, sets of situations, but diverse sets of people, from different backgrounds, multiracial and ethnic and so forth. And how do you sort of maintain that authenticity, right? And that transparency?
Yeah. So this is, it's a great topic, Dave. We could almost do a whole podcast around this, because and you can send your leaders an article I wrote that I got a lot of arrows in my back, because I think we're, as one professor said, we're at peak authenticity. Everything's about authenticity, and the word has lost some of its meaning. And I think particularly young people or certain groups take it too far in saying authenticity. You have to always show up with exactly how you're feeling in the moment. But, going back to this example before, or if we go look at the example of rapper Killer Mike or Mayor Bottoms, they were brilliant. They're angry. They're frustrated. This is not the way things should be. And, maybe authentically showing up and say, I have no idea. I think the whole U.S. system is terrible. But that's, not what's authentic to that situation. And their situation is, Keisha Lance Bottoms is the mayor. She needs to control the situation of what's going on. She is very clear on what she wants the end goal to be. People need to go home. Rapper Killer Mike needs people to be strategic, to mobilize, to organize. He repeats that phrase 3 times during his speech. And so, and I mean, let's be clear. Killer Mike says he doesn't even want to be there. He does not want to give that speech. So are they authentic to what the situation calls for, what their positions, what their duty is? Yes. And they say that. They're also authentic to saying, hey, I'm not going to hide the fact that anger here. You know, they are acknowledging that people are rightfully upset. And so, but, you know, other people may take this very rigid definition of authenticity and say, hey, you got to show up and tell exactly like what's on your mind. And let's face it, when you're in a crisis, you don't know. You know, going back to medical devices, I work with a lot of healthcare. There's a product recall. You may not know where that is. So if you have the leader show up and say, we have no idea what's going on, you immediately lose credibility. Now, that may be the case, but there are ways to reframe that and reassure people. Okay? We have the best team in the longest history and a fantastic track record. We have the best people working on this. They're going to get to the root cause, and we're going to solve this. That is reassuring to your stakeholders, to your employees, in this case, to medical doctors and patients. And let's be clear, as a leader, part of your job is to stay in your position. You know, if you get pulled down as a mayor or as the CEO, you no longer can get anything done, right? If you're fired. So, and again, I wanted people to really look at the way those 2 speeches in Atlanta, very powerful and stepping up, because there's a major vacuum in the way people are communicating, the leaders in the U.S. at least. So, you know, Mayor Bottoms has got control. She's got support of all those important constituents. You know, the people, the business owners, the people who got her elected, and she's going into a much better place to get things done over the 6 months, 2 years and beyond than a lot of other mayors who are defensive, looking weak right now.
Yeah, Michael, I think talk about a case study for effective leadership that has no playbook.